Hello, everybody. My name is Stacia, and I'm just a girl on the internet that likes to talk about movies. So we are in our second week of what I call Thanksgiving movies. So this week we are going to focus on the 1983 movie, The Big Chill. And you might be asking yourself if you've seen this movie before, is The Big Chill really a Thanksgiving movie? And it's not explicitly a Thanksgiving movie, but let me tell you why I think it qualifies for a Thanksgiving movie. The only thing in this movie that really focuses on Thanksgiving is flashbacks to the main actors' college days where they all lived in a co-ed dorm together, where they cooked Thanksgiving dinner together when they were in college. And I would say this movie leans more into the Friendsgiving type of Thanksgiving. But one of the other reasons that I think that this is a Thanksgiving movie, it is about reflecting about your life when you get to a certain age. When you get past 35, I would say that's when you start looking back at your life, seeing what you're thankful for in your life and things that happen in your life. And The Big Chill is very much about that. Friends get together for a sad circumstance when one of their other friends from college passes away. These are people that didn't necessarily remain close, but they were the best of friends during those college days. And this is the event. One of their deaths brings them back together. And they basically pick up right where they left off. They didn't fall out of friendship because they didn't like each other. It's because, as we all know, as you get older, it's harder to maintain those ties, especially back then where you all moved away. There was no internet to catch up with everybody quickly. You had to make the effort. You had to either write letters or maintain phone calls, and phone calls, especially if they were long distance back in those days, were very expensive. So it came down to periodic phone calls or writing letters to each other. And the movie, why I think it leans into Thanksgiving also, is a lot of it centers around making and having meals together. There's a big meal scene where they all make a big meal. It happens actually several times in the movie, but there is one pivotal scene in the movie that is very famous where they sit around having dinner and then they clean up and listen to the music of their youth and dance together. And the dinner itself is about talking and reflecting about life. And this movie, it's 1983. It's very reflective for early baby boomers. I would say the baby boomers that were born in the 1940s is what this focuses on. But does it ring true for audiences today? I think it does. I think if you watch this movie today, there is a center line of, we all know what it's like. I mean, unless you're still in your 20s, what it's like to be approaching or just into middle age. Like I said, this focuses on people in their mid to late 30s. And that is where it really hits you, where you reflect on your ideals of youth. And it's the age where you really come into being an adult. Yes, you've been an adult for years at this point, but this is the time where your career has been established. Your family has been established. You have lots of responsibilities. Let me tell you, if you are younger and you do get older past 35, life is more about your responsibilities than your idealism. That is one of the things that the characters in this movie are grappling with after the death of their friend. Some have settled into their success. Some are still struggling. So The Big Chill was written and directed by Lawrence Kasden, who is known for writing things like The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Indiana Jones. He even made the movie Body Heat. So he was a pretty successful writer and director at this point. And this is really a movie that he wrote about his own realizations of coming into approaching middle age. When you look back on your idealistic college days, and he uses the death of one of them for that getting together of the friends again and really being able to reflect on your life then and your life now. And the movie centers around an ensemble cast. These are really people at the beginning of their fame. Yes, a lot of them are already known, but The Big Chill kind of made them into the household name realm, where it upped their career even more. So the friends, the really meat and bones of this story, the central cast, is Glenn Close as Sarah, Kevin Kline as Harold. They play the married couple of the group, whose house they all stay at during the time when everybody comes together for the funeral. They were all friends during their days at Michigan State University, but they have moved to South Carolina, and this movie is shot in South Carolina on location. And then besides Glenn Close and Kevin Kline, the friend group is made up of Tom Berenger as Sam, who is a big TV star. We have Jeff Goldblum as Michael, who is a journalist, but he is dissatisfied with his career as a journalist because he is a writer for People magazine, and that's not exactly where he expected his career to go. Then we have William Hurt, who is a Vietnam veteran who got hurt during the war, and he is one of the ones that is still lost in life at this point. Mary Kay Place is Meg. She's a lawyer now, and she is looking in her life where she hasn't had a real relationship and getting to the point of her life where she wants a child, whether or not that means having, a steady relationship or not. She is ready for a child. And then we have Beth Williams rounding out the friend group. She was the pretty one. The one of them that has died is Alex, who is played by Kevin Costner, but all of his scenes were thrown out. Although I hear that it is Kevin Costner in some of the shots where they're preparing him for the funeral, where you see certain parts of him. But he still got paid for it. And famously, Kevin Costner, this is one of his first roles, and he is unrecognizable because they never show his face, and all of the footage where they showed his face is thrown out. And also in the main cast, we have Alex's younger girlfriend, played by Meg Tilly, who is also younger than the rest of the cast. She was born in 1960. By and large, most of the cast was born in the late 40s, early 50s. And then Kevin Costner, you have born in the mid 50s, and then Meg Tilly is born in 1960, and she is intentionally his young girlfriend in her early 20s, and she is the balance to the 30-something-year-old cast reflecting on their life, where she is still in that stage of life where she is young and carefree and has those ideals and not reflecting on the past yet. And if you were wondering what the title The Big Chill refers to, it is thought when you get into your mid to late 30s, that's when your dreams chill. Your dreams are put to the sidelines to feed into your family or your responsibilities that you have now in adulthood. So it puts a chill upon your idealism and your dreams in life. So all in all, there are a lot of funny parts to this movie, but a lot of very serious, reflective parts of this movie, but very entertaining. It threads the needle so smoothly of the balance between the comedy and the tragedy in this movie. And that's why it is an enjoyable watch. Although if you lead into the description of the movie of friends coming together after a friend's one of their good friends' death. It seems like it's going to be serious, but this is not a heavy drama. This is your comedic drama, if you will. And the soundtrack to this movie is so good. Even if you aren't of the same age as the people in this movie, it is full of 60s and 70s hits. And at the time, The Big Chill was a huge hit also with fans, with critics. It was made for around $8 million and it made over $55 million at the box office. So for the early 80s, that was a huge, huge hit. And this movie was also a hit with the Oscars and other award shows of the time. It was nominated for 3 Academy Awards: Best Picture, Best Writing, and Best Supporting Actress for Glenn Close, one of the several times that she has been nominated and has not won an Oscar. And this movie was on several critics' top 10 list of that year. It's a classic for a reason. Like I said, well directed, well written, and beautifully acted. You should, if you have never seen The Big Chill from 1983, you should give it a shot. And if you have seen it, comment what you liked about this movie, what your memories are of this movie. Thank you for joining me again. My name is Stacia, and I just have my little corner of the internet where I like to talk about movies. I'm just a person, a woman, a girl that likes to talk about movies on the internet. And I invite you to subscribe to my channel if you also like movies like I do. Thank you guys so much for helping me reach my goal of 500 subscribers for this year as well. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed yet, I invite you to subscribe. I invite you to comment, to like the video. I love your comments. I try to respond to every single one of them if I can. I'm seeing if I can get to 600 subscribers by the end of this year, and I think I can make it. I think that's doable because I'm already almost to 550. But thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, my name is Stacia. Love y'all. Bye.